If you're struggling right now, watch this. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mandy Kubane. I am your accountability partner in healing, growth, faith, and personal development. Now, on today's episode, we are going to be talking about the 5 lessons that hitting rock bottom taught me. Now, I must say, hitting rock bottom must be the most hardest, most difficult, and most vulnerable seasons of anyone's life. But the good news is that it comes with some sort of lessons. There's a purpose attached to the experience that God has allowed in your life. And this is probably why I'm here today, sharing with you the lessons that hitting rock bottom has taught me. Let's get straight right into it. Now, the first lesson that hitting rock bottom taught me is that not everyone will be there for you. Now, yes, it is so easy for people to be there for you when times are good, when times are great, when times are joyful. But rock bottom, hard times, your most lowest seasons show you people that are really for you. People that are willing to be with you even when times are hard, even when you are at your most vulnerable, even when you are at your most unattractive state. Because trust me, I remember a season when my son was in ICU struggling and fighting for his life. I was at my most vulnerable. I felt like I was losing my mind. I was at my most vulnerable state. And I really appreciated that one person that stood with me during that time. I really appreciate, up until this day, the person that was with me during that time that I was struggling. It taught me a lot about people. It taught me a lot about the world. It taught me a lot about life in general. Because the people that I helped, or people that were with me during some good times of my life, were nowhere to be found. No phone call, nothing at all. And I had to go through that hard season with myself and with the person that was willing to go through that season with me. So yes, you will have some people that will show up for you when you are at your most lowest and facing the hardest seasons of your life. And you will find people that will just disappear. It's part of life. But that's also a lesson too, because now you know that this person was meant to be part of my journey. This person is just there for the good times, and maybe I may not want to consider them to be part of my entire journey. That's just my take. And I have the second one noted here too, which is number 2, and it reads, asking for help is strength and not a weakness. Now, you don't have to carry it alone. You don't have to be alone during those hard seasons of your life. Like I said, I was struggling when my son was in ICU fighting for his life. I was in hospital for 3 weeks, and I remember I had to call my partner and say, you know what, I'm failing. I cannot do this anymore. Could you please come here and be with him while I go home for a couple of days to rest my mind? Because truly and honestly, I felt like, yes, I am a strong person. I can handle hard things, but I couldn't handle. There was a point where I felt like I couldn't handle this anymore. Like, it is too much for me. And like I mentioned before, I felt like I was losing my mind and I needed to be away from that space. And yes, I did feel like I was feeling weak, but then as time went by, I remembered that it was not weakness. It's because in this life, we are not meant to carry things on our own. This is why we have relationships. That's why God created us to have relationships, friends, family. This is exactly why there are people that are in your circle. So that those people are because those people were meant to be part of your journey, or because those people were put to be part of your journey, they're expected, well, we expect them to be part of our hard times too. We expect them to be, yes, part of the good times, but we do in some way expect them to be part of the hard times. And not everyone will show up for you during the hard times, but that's okay. And that doesn't mean that they are bad people. It's just that they're not willing to be part of your lowest season. that's also okay. It's up to you whether you wish to have those people around you or not. But with me, it really changed how I see things and people. It really made me prioritize who I want to be a part of my life and who I don't want to be part of my life. It really made me prioritize my relationships, because it's, to me, it was like so unreal for me to keep people that were only willing to be with me when times were easy and never when times were hard. Number 3, your identity is bigger than your circumstance. So to me, this means that whatever it is that you're going through is just an experience or a circumstance that God has allowed in your life. It's not who you are. You experience the hardship, the difficult time is not who you are. You're not defined by what you're going through or the season that God has allowed in your life. The 4th lesson that hitting rock bottom taught me is that growth often happens in the most uncomfortable places and situations in life. Now, for me, yes, at that very moment when I was going through that season of my life where my son was fighting for his life, there was no lesson at that very moment. I was angry, I was mad, I was sad, I was depressed. I was everything negative during that time. And only now when I look back, I remember, hey, this is what God was trying to teach me. This is what God wanted me to learn. And there's a shift that happens in your life when you go through something difficult. And that shift, most of the time, yes, you feel negative about the situation in the beginning, but as time progresses, you get to see that God wanted you to go through that situation because He wanted to develop you or prepare you for something. And with me, I always find myself saying, maybe that's why God made, or maybe that's why God allowed that situation in my life. That's why God did this. That's why God did that. And I always try my best to find the positive in every hard situation, because to me, that's growth. That's how we grow. We grow through hardship. We grow through struggle. And so find growth. Find some sort of lesson from that experience and just know that you are growing. Growth is not easy. There are things that you will go through that you do not like, things that do not please you. But because you are growing to become better and God is preparing you for this better version of you that you are becoming, you need to go through it. The last thing that I'd like to share with you that rock bottom taught me is that hope matters more than you think. Now, it is so easy to feel like your life has come to its end when you are going through hard seasons. But I've got to learn that I needed to stay hopeful for things to get better. I needed to stay hopeful for my son to get better. I needed to be hopeful as I was in that dark place in my life, that things are going to get better, that I'm going to come out of this place, that my son is going to come out of this place better. I needed to believe in me that situations are going to turn around and my life will get better in some way. But I know as you're going through the situation, especially in the beginning stages, it is hard to be hopeful because your whole world at that time feels like it's falling apart because of this new experience, because of this pain that you feel from going through this experience. And so teach yourself to have hope, to have faith that things are going to get better, things are going to work out, things are going to turn around for the better. Yes, I in the beginning stages felt like this is it, like this is the end of my life. But as time went by, I actually programmed my mind to believe that no, things are going to be fine, things are going to be better. So have hope, whatever situation that you find yourself in, have hope, have faith that tomorrow is going to be better, and nothing is meant to be this way forever. Your situation is not meant to be this way forever. Now, rock bottom was not the end of my story, and it's definitely not the end of your story too. What I've picked up or learned about rock bottom is that it teaches you who to depend on. It teaches you to be strong and to also rely on yourself as a person, because you have been given the capacity to handle the things that God has allowed in your life. There's also lessons that God gives you during that season that you may not see, and sometimes that you may see, that will help you become a better person after that experience, after that hard season of your life. And I know when you are going through really, really hard seasons, you don't get to see all of these things. You don't get to notice all of these things, or even start talking about them, because they really don't matter. What matters is what you're going through, and the fact that you're praying for that thing to be sorted or become better. But after that season, that hardship, you start noticing that, hey, I learned this from this experience. Hey, this is what God wanted me to learn. Or, hey, now I know who's really for me. Now I know who's willing to walk the hard seasons and parts of my life. And that's the beauty of it all. Coming out alive, to me, is the beauty of it all. They always say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And the fact that you are still alive shows that God still has a purpose and a plan for your life, which means that hard season of your life wasn't there to break you. It wasn't there to kill you. It wasn't there to bring an end to your story, but it is a continuation of your story. Your story is still being written. And I promise you, if you allow yourself to go through whatever you need to go through, and allow yourself to take whatever lessons of growth from that experience, you will always come out better. It is so easy to complain. It is so easy to pick up the negatives from that experience, but you get to teach yourself. You are the one that's responsible for teaching yourself, for shifting your mind into seeing the positive out of that hard experience, out of that difficult situation. And this is what happened to me. And I hope that you are also applying that into your life. Yes, go through the season, go through the hard season without putting so much pressure on yourself to see the good in the situation. But as time progresses, I want you to have a moment with yourself and say, you know what? Hey, what is it that God is trying to teach me? What is God trying to do by allowing this to happen in my life? And this is why I actually shared these lessons with you, because those are the things that I picked up in my life that, hey, some people won't show up for you. And hey, this is not who I am. It's just an experience that God is allowing me to go through in my life, and so on. I've shared the 5 lessons, and I hope that you get something out of the lessons that I've shared. And I hope that they are in some way relatable to your experience as well. But I can't wait to hear from you. I love reading your comments. I hope that you do share them with me right here. So this brings me to the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I hope to see you back here next week. Bye for now.